Well, here we are, friends, in
Hey, everybody.
another music connection. We are very, very excited. We have a new friend, a new connection to make tonight. Uh, this is a vibrant young woman that hails originally from Nicaragua and settled in DC after college, and has been creating vibrant music in our communities and is a voice to be reckoned with. And so, without further ado, let me introduce you to Elena. Welcome, Elena.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Happy Monday indeed. And thank you so much for being out there protesting every day by your neighborhood.
You were telling
My
us
pleasure.
earlier that you're out there singing just about every day.
Yeah, I try to go out as much as I can. It's not really. I'm not trying to make this a promotional thing for myself. I just trying to, do my part. I can sing, and I know how to lead chants and stuff. And so, a couple people here in the neighborhood here in Petworth started going to Sherman Circle when everything kind of blew up with Black Lives Matter, and a lot of us wanted to participate but didn't want, with COVID, had some hesitation about going and being in a really big crowd. And I was like, well, we can do something here. We don't need to go, it's valuable to have things at all levels, all places. And so I just I heard that there were people going to Sherman Circle. And so I was like, well, I have my sound system, I have a battery powered sound system, and obviously I can play music. So I took my services, and of course ended up, because I had the mics and the sound system and everything, ended up becoming sort of an organizer. I don't really feel like I'm organizing much. I'm like going and doing the thing, and then, whoever wants to participate in whatever way they feel fit
That's
can
wonderful.
do that. So,
And you're no stranger to social justice issues, right? This is something that is a passion of yours. It's
Yeah.
integral in who you are.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's been a part of my life for as long as, even before I'm realizing now that, like, even before I could articulate what it is that I liked and didn't like, I definitely had very strong preferences for certain things. I've always been very opinionated and very, like, clear about what I like and don't like. But I'm now, especially in this last couple months, I've been realizing that really not being into discrimination has been something that has really been there from the very beginning. I don't really know why. I grew up in a very privileged background, I'm from, like, high society in Nicaragua, and people aren't necessarily encouraged to think about justice for other people, especially people that don't look like them. But for some reason, I think it really stems from the fact that I'm a woman. I grew up in a patriarchal society, and my family was pretty unorthodox as far as where we grew up. My mom is a very strong woman. She's always worked. But I did feel discriminated against a lot for being like a girl who was interested in boy stuff. I wanted to play soccer, I wanted to play music, and everybody just told me that wasn't for me. And I think I had a lot of anger and resentment about that. And through the years, I've just tried to convert that into, like, more productive outlets, which for me have been like art about love and other things, but also about justice and serving, like, the communities that I think are needing it, so.
Yes. Elena, tell us a little bit about your musical journey. What got you started in music?
Sure. I come from a pretty musical family. My oldest brother plays French horn. He's 10 years older than me, and he would always practice. It's complicated because I was born in the States. I grew up here until I was 8, and then the political situation in Nicaragua shifted. And so I went back with my family to Nicaragua at 8, and then grew up 8 to 18 there. So when I was younger, my brother was 10 years older than me. He was in orchestras and stuff in Miami. And he would always rehearse and practice. When you're in an orchestra and you're at the level that he was at, you just had that all the time. So that was, like, normal for me. My dad also played piano, My mom loves music and she's always encouraging us. But I had a pretty strong aversion to lessons. I didn't want to do it. I just thought that it ruined music for me. And so I decided instead of engaging in music in this way, I was just going to do it on my own terms, for better or for worse. I mean, I think there are some disadvantages that I now face because I didn't have any formal training. But when I was around 13, the electricity started going out a lot in Nicaragua. We had some power outages like on the regular. And so I started picking up, it just became a blessing. I started picking up my dad's guitar and my dad's piano, and those were like the instruments we had readily available. And I started writing songs. Like I've always known that I wanted to write songs. I didn't ever think I would sing them for anybody other than myself. And I wrote very slowly. Like I wrote like 3 songs in, 6 years or something like that when I was younger. But then I got to high school. I started writing with one other friend. She would actually do all the lyrics and melody. And so she inspired me. I was like, wow, we can like write songs. Like this can happen. And I went through college. I didn't really focus on it. It was always a secondary thing. In college, I sang and I played at open mics, so mostly covers, sometimes originals. And then I moved out to DC and kind of continued on the same path. And then I started getting encouraged by some friends who would go to my open mics and they'd be like, you should maybe try to play with a band. I'll play with you. And I'm like, oh, you'll play with me? Cool. Let's do it. All right. Sounds good. So that's kind of how it started happening. So it was really cool to have like supportive people to encourage me to do it. I don't know if I would have done it otherwise. But like then I just started booking gigs, and then I would book the gigs and then be like, okay, now I got to do it.
Well, and I know you released an album that got a lot of notice.
Yeah, I've actually released 2 albums. So I founded Elena and Los Fulanos in 2011. It's gone through a couple of iterations since then. DC, people come and go. Thankfully, nothing bad, just people moving on. Sure. And so I've been working, obviously, as well, like with time, your musicians, you get more formal about it, and then you start being able to hire people and pay them. And so you get, a different level. And so I released 2 albums. My first one is called Miel Venenosa. And that one was nominated for a Whammy, which was like very exciting for me at the time. And that one was really more like singer-songwriter. Okay, guys, play. It didn't have as much like development to it, but I still, I thought it was like, this is the thing I'm gonna do. I didn't really have many like aspirations for it. Like at the time, I was still working at a nonprofit like full time, but then after I released the album, it's like, wow, now I exist. Like people in China can hear me, So that changed things, because then people started being able to find me and people started booking my band, because we really fill a role, I think, in DC. We fill a gap that exists in terms of like international music and Latin music, and it's female fronted. I think that's also appealing, and it's original. There are other bands obviously out there, and a lot of them do traditional music. Most of the Latino bands are like all men. And so I think that's part of like what has been part of the success that we've had, and part of the reason that we're appealing is because we kind of fit these different boxes that people are looking for. And DC, as you know, is a place with a lot of like cultural institutions. That's been really helpful for me. So a lot of people are like, well, why don't you live in New York or Nashville or places like that? But I honestly don't think I would have been able to grow in the same way in those places as I have been able to grow here, just because I've been given these opportunities and stages that I don't think I would have been able to do in a bigger city with a lot more competition, and B, like fewer places that probably want exactly what I'm offering. So
that's right.
I don't know what came first. I don't know if it was like I designed my project because I saw this need, or the other way. I can't really tell the intention.
It sounds super organic, and when it's organic, it's just truth. And I think that's something that comes across your music. Speaking of which, would you like to share some of that music with us?
Oh, sure. All right.
What would you like to play first?
I'll start off with Morir Bailando. Let's see. This song is about being single and feeling okay about that. Give me a second. I'm just gonna tune real quick. Make sure. So this is for all my single folks. It's okay. All right, here it goes. Wait, am I plugged in? Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Prefiero morir bailando. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila que en el engaño de tu sudor. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila que maltratar este corazón. Pa pom 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 pa pom pom pom. Con ese ritmo viene la noche. Con el calor llega la aventura. No hay que vivir con la amargura que siempre trae el desamor. Y cuando bailo me lleva al ritmo. Con la cintura te digo todo. Solo volver a amar lentamente con alguien que me trate mejor. Pa pom 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 pa pom pom pom. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Aquí en el Music Connection. Mejor dejar atrás tus mentiras que maltratar este corazón. Prefiero morir bailando. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila que maltratar este corazón. Pa pom 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 pa pom pom pom. Tú me dejaste muy bien plantada. No volveré a entregarme toda. Que mi felicidad es mía. Que nadie más me la quitará. La música es mi compañía. Amor que nunca marchitará. Como el espíritu de mi gente en este trópico continente, en mi país hecho de calor. Pa pom 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 pa pom pom pom. Prefiero morir bailando. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila que en el engaño de tu sudor. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir morir de amor aquí en el internet. Mejor dejar atrás sus mentiras. Que maltratar este corazón. Pa bom pom pom 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 pa bom pom pom.
Eso.
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 Oh, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be alone.
That's right.
You can-
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Oh my God.
That's it. That is
Beautiful.
so true. Yes.
Wow. I was
That's-
hearing all the percussion in there. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, you know, it's that's why I have the little foot cowbell here, because
I was trying to figure out where is the cowbell. I hear it, but
it's on my
somewhere-
foot.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I'm trying to play it all lightly so that like it doesn't like take over. Cowbells are very bleedy, you know, they get into everything. So
That's right.
Yeah.
they
More
never need a
cowbell.
mic.
That's so great. I love it. And as you were singing, I was thinking about women in music, and we have, you know, you are the third composer, singer, songwriter that we had in the show in
Oh,
a row. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so we're thrilled to be sort of on trend here to have women who are composers and expressionists of their own talents and feelings. So
You were singing something when we were talking to you before the show. Was that a new piece that you were writing?
Oh, no, I'll do it next. I think it's called Oceans.
Oh, I would love it.
So we do. I usually try to do a mixture of English and Spanish songs.
Mhm.
And so yeah, and the next song will be in English, and I can do that one.
Lovely.
Like it's called Oceans. It's a little bit more. It's as close to like an R&B type song that I've written. And it's actually an older song, very old. It's probably like the second song that I wrote by myself. But I do think it's actually surprisingly complex for like one of my first songs. And there's something to, you know, you were asking about my musical background, and some people, you know, when I have insecurities around like, oh, I don't know a lot of music theory and all that stuff. But I also think there's an element of that has allowed me to be very free of those rules. And I think this song is one of those examples where I was able to do things that maybe you wouldn't normally do, but it worked out.
Wonderful.
This one's called Oceans. These streets are like oceans without you. The August wintry fall has brushed us up, and I'm sure we're through. I throw out my energy that I would have spent on my life again, that I would have spent rebuilding broken ties, replacing wasted lies. Oh, futility. And I don't know if I am over it. Yeah. And I see you there, and I see you there, yeah. The razor glass and stolen stairs that never should have been, that we cannot bear. These tainted streets are oceans, and I don't know if I can bear to see you here again, 'cause I miss your sweet soft touch, and I long for you so much. It makes me want to reach out and start things all over again. I see you there, and I see you there, yeah. The razor blades and stolen stairs that never should have been, that we cannot bear to see, to see, to see. And don't you think we need a little more time to think this over? And don't you think we need a little more time just to be? It seems we've lost our grip, and now the memories slowly slip to the crevices below. And don't you think we need a little more time to be sure we're through? These empty streets are oceans, but you fill them, fill them, yeah, yeah, and I see you there, and I see you there, yeah. The razor glares and stolen stairs that never should have been, that we cannot bear to see, to see. Can I see you again? Can I see you again? Yeah, 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 yeah. The razor glares and stolen stairs that never should have been, that we cannot bear to see, to see, to see. These streets are like oceans.
Wow.
Yay.
Beautiful. Yay.
Beautiful.
These streets are like oceans. I was wondering, that's just so lovely. I've written, I'm not a trained musician either, and I've been around trained musicians, but I've written music for shows.
Oh, cool.
And I wonder if the age-old question when you're writing a song, do you ever just get a musical hook and then that starts you off on your song, or do you start with your words first?
Yeah, generally speaking, and it's cool to like talk to someone who writes as well, because a lot of times like people ask you that not knowing where to start. But yeah, for me, like I will just be like, for example, like I have like right now I'm working on something. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's because I worked on another song, and it's kind of like, it's like something about the chords that I've been like hearing in my head because I've been working on another song, like for someone else, like a commission thing that I didn't write, but it sparked a thing. Like sometimes the easiest thing is to like hear a little piece of music, but hear an incomplete piece of it, and then your brain like completes it, you know, and then it's like you probably went in a totally different direction. So for me, it's like these little musical ideas will come up, and I'll usually record them, voice notes, and sometimes they'll come with words or like a cadence, and then the cadence will be either in English or in Spanish. Mm-hmm. I try to like be open to it being in either one, but usually it's kind of already comes with it. Uh-huh. So yeah, for Oceans, it was These Streets Are Like Oceans. I do remember that being like the main thing. And then it was about creating a song around that feeling. What is that feeling? What does that even mean? You know? And that's kind of how that song came about.
And so what I was as you were playing, and as I was listening to the meaning of the words and trying to think about all the feelings and emotions there, we're now in a very emotional time in our lives. This is a new era. that is bringing up all kinds of things in many different layers.
Right.
Is that helpful for you as you create art? Is it does it inform your art? Does it inspire you? Do you see art as a solution? What are your thoughts?
I think it's very important to be an artist right now. I feel very mixed about this particular time because I think it's really important to, I mean, I believe in having a voice, but I also think it's really important to let other people that like have more real personal experience with the issues, like be the ones speaking and listen to them. Right. So I've actually tried to be like, pull back a little bit right now. In terms of like even my social media presence and like what I say. I don't want to preach to anybody because I'm not sure I'm the one to be preaching now.
It's a time to listen. I think that's
a time to listen and a time to learn.
Yes.
And obviously like it's impacting me as a person. And I'm trying to let it do that. And I'm trying to have that take precedence over my productivity. You know, I know I'm not criticizing other people who feel the need to be productive or that feel that calling. Just for me at this moment, I just think it's a time to like take in. I have been like thinking about song ideas. I did write a I don't even think it's complete yet, but a song that I've been singing out at the protests. But again, like I'm very like I'm kind of creeping there. Mm-hmm. I've been really focusing on I've been working on stop motion filmmaking during this time because it's very time consuming. I was like, well, I'm gonna be stuck in my room for like ever. So what can I be doing? And so I came up with that as an idea. Obviously, music is always around, and I'm doing all kinds of other assignments. I'm part of, I don't know if you know this, I'm also in this group called Flor de Toloache, which is an all-female mariachi group. And so we've been playing like online shows. And so I've been staying busy with work in that way. So it's been, thankfully I've had work and I've had the ability to continue to like make my livelihood.
Well, and you know, we are thankful for people like you who are willing to explore in the uncomfortable spaces and are willing to listen. And we need to listen to more music like yours that inspire us and help us continue to look ahead, because that's where we need to look.
And we so look forward to spending some time with you when we get that chance. It's just such a thrill to meet you.
It's fun to see each other in person.
That's right. Well, would you perhaps take us out with a little something that you're maybe something that you're playing out?
Sure. I was gonna end with this. Post. I think it's important. So I wrote this song not recently, but obviously it's still really relevant. It's called Ponle Fin. It's kind of my rallying cry, my resistance song. I wrote it during the election season. And as I mentioned earlier, like I think a lot of my interest and passion in justice comes from the fact that I felt growing up that I was very discriminated against for being a woman. That's the starting point of this song, but it ends up becoming about a lot of all of the social justice issues that we deal with. So you'll see, but it's usually a little sing along. So if people in the audience out there in the world want to sing along, I'll teach you the little part and you can sing at home if you would like. So it goes like this. It goes, ponle fin, pon fin. And you say, a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso, ponle fin, pon fin. So what are we saying? We're saying put an end or a stop to that. And you're saying to that. So what is that? That is like racism and sexism and homophobia and all of that stuff that we're dealing with. So hope you guys sing along. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
¡Eso! Esta canción se la dedicamos a todos los que luchan por la justicia y la paz en este país, en nuestros países y en el mundo entero. A la mujeres les dice que sean buenas, que se ajusten, que se aguanten. A las mujeres les dice que sean lindas, que sean dulces, no se amarguen. A los hombres les dice que sean firmes, que sean duros, que maltraten. Yo no puedo aceptar esas cosas, yo no suelo conformarme. Y dice, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. Como dice, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. Hay personas que quieren decirte a quienes tú puedes amar. Y después te llaman pecadores por quererte bien casar. Inmigrantes viven con horror que los vengan a deportar. Y los negros de la policía que los suele fácil matar. Vamos todos, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. Como dice, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. No a el machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no, te digo no. No a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no, te digo no. Resiste, no a el machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no, te digo no. Una más pues, no a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no a Donald Trump.
Thank you so much.
Eso.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much, Elena.
No, thank you guys.
Everyone for tuning in. We are so thrilled to know you, and we are looking forward to getting to know you even more as we listen to your music online.
Yeah. Check us out en Los Fulanos.
In Los Fulanos, and we'll add the links at the below the video after it gets published. Thank you again.
Great.
Thank you guys. Good to meet you all.
Keep creating, and we'll see everyone at the next Music Connection. Thank you again.
Sounds great.
Elena, hang on a sec, okay?
Okay.